Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here, and I have my besties with me.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
So, Natha's on PTO today.
We miss you.
We come here as Britney Spears's book just dropped her memoir. It's been highly anticipated. And I just thought to myself, there's no way that we could do this news service without the help of a Britney TikToker expert at sometimes_Britney and my very best friend / soulmate, Tommy Davis.
Yay! So excited for this. So excited for this conversation. And then also so excited for you guys.
I'm so honored for you to be here with us because I was like, I feel like I'm not going to do this conversation justice without you helping us along with this information. I know that no one knows Britney better than you, and we
literally, I wish it could be my job. I know nothing else more than I know this topic, and it gets me nothing.
Would you say she's like your all-time favorite? Like, if you could think of a celebrity that's influenced your life aside from Buffy?
Yeah, I would say especially as a gay, one of our queens. You know, people have Cher, people have Madonna. I would say, Britney is someone I've always idolized and looked up to.
What about you, Amanda? Do you have someone like that?
I would say when Britney was super popular, I was a Christina Aguilera girl, just because I felt like everyone loved Britney. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to like someone that, is up there, but like not as popular.
Yeah.
No, wait, I take that back. Christina's as popular, but everyone's seen Britney.
I think that's something too that I feel like they've always tried to distinguish is like, it's not Christina versus Britney. That was the narrative that came out. And it was like NSYNC versus Backstreet Boys. Like, okay, that was more of a competitive thing. However, I still liked both. I still beyond loved Christina, like belting out Reflections. Beyond loved Britney. I went to her Slave for You tour. Like, I saw her with the snake like on stage. Iconic.
That is iconic. That is once in a lifetime. Very lucky. That is gold to be able to witness that.
My mom actually surprised me. She took my cousins and I to see Britney Spears and did not tell us. And our parents were like, oh, we're going to go see A Christmas Carol. And we had no idea.
Awesome.
So we're in the stadium and everyone's in Britney merch and everyone's selling Britney merch. And we're like, idiot me. Like, I know I was young, but like, I didn't put it together. And my mom's like, oh, do you want a Britney shirt? I'm like, yeah. Like,
what'd you wear? I'm so curious. I mean,
I don't know what I wore, but I was a kid. So it's not like, I'm sure my mom like dressed me literally, but then I got the hottest like little shirt and I'm dying. Cause I'm like, it had like sheer sleeves. I'm like, where is that now? Cause it'd be the cutest crop top.
I know. I remember you looking for that years ago, but I don't think your mom has it anymore.
I need to find it. Yeah. If anyone has it, it's her. That's the only hope. Like, Amanda, were you like that? Where like did you need your mom to hold on to things? Because for me, like if she doesn't have them, like it's gone in the abyss.
Oh yeah, I was super responsible. Even when I went out shopping with my mom, she'd be like, don't touch anything. So I'm very like, okay.
Or like you get something new and they're like, don't wear it now, don't ruin it. And you're like,
and then you like give it to a friend and never see it again.
And then this friend posts it and then you make a mental note. Like, that's where it is.
Oh
like, Tom, you've definitely worn my clothes for sure. Like, Tom and I lived together in college. I'm sure half my closet is in his now, right?
Yeah, I still have it all. It's all in a box. I actually use a lot of it for my Britney videos.
Oh, yes. His impressions are, you cannot touch them. You cannot compete. The facials, the everything. It's iconic. But let's get into this memoir. You have that book pre-ordered, right?
I have it pre-ordered, yes. So I believe it comes out Wednesday. So hopefully I get it before then.
Yes. Okay. So some of the things that have been circulating recently about like headlines pulling apart like certain things in her book. Like the major one I think that everyone has seen is that she revealed that she had an abortion years ago when she and Justin Timberlake were together. They were 19 years old. He didn't want her to have the baby. So she even was quoted in the book saying, like, to her, she didn't see it as a tragedy and she loved Justin and she would have had the baby. But like also they're young, they're rising pop stars. I'm sure it freaked him out.
Right.
Mhm.
They ended up having an abortion, and she did one at home because, unfortunately, when you're that big of a star at that time, anything that you do, any sort of medical care you get, you can't trust that it's going to be private. So she did take a supplement that like made her pass it naturally.
Mm.
And it's just, this is huge for, if you remember the time of like when it was like Britney and Justin, like that would have broken the internet.
Yeah, they were goals.
They were
Right.
they were goals, they were idolized, and also that, you know, everything they did though was under a microscope for
Her
sure.
sister became a teen mom, right? So that must have been super hard for her.
Yeah, that's a
Right.
great point. Even though her and her sister are just very different.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, different. Yeah, for sure.
But yes, they were close. I mean, at that time, they were close. And it's like, that actually is such a good point. Like, how must she have felt knowing that she didn't
Hmm.
keep her child? And then I read something where this is the part that really turned me off, that Justin thought it would be comforting to play music while it happened. So like they were in the bathroom and he sat down and played guitar while she's
No.
sobbing.
Right. Right. I
I
know.
mean,
And
their music is around. I mean, their career is around music, so I kind of get it, but it is weird.
yeah, I mean, I think it's, again, like, they were children.
Yeah.
So if you heard a story from something I did during a traumatic moment at 18, 19, even 21, I would be like, oh my God, that was so stupid. Like, what was I thinking? So I also see it
Yes.
from that perspective of like,
Hmm.
I'd hate for someone to bring that up because I'm such a different person today.
Hmm.
That's really true. And it speaks to like how unprepared he really was, like if that's what he was saying, and they were so young and they're also like thrust into the spotlight. Like it's a lot to navigate at that time and wrap your head around. So I totally understand. Like I even see, you know how you see those like memories pop up of your Facebook status from 10 years ago?
Time hop. Oh,
I see
cringe.
things that yes, I wrote as my status and I'm like, that was never my brain. Like, how am I the same person?
Yep.
It's
Oh,
highly embarrassing.
I'm
But
like,
Yeah.
Mom, you didn't deactivate my Facebook. Why'd you let me post
oh,
that?
please. I was like 20 years old and still looking like a Tom and I have some videos that pop up from college. And
Right.
I'm like, that was a different lifetime.
The
Oof.
eyebrow journey for
Oof.
everyone is like night and day. Like I think
Yep.
about, oh,
Oh my God, if you did like a montage, you know, those time lapses of my eyebrows, they'd be like,
I'll be the exception to the rule here. I've never done anything to my eyebrows.
really?
These are
Oh,
them, honey. This is
I used
all
to
you get.
round them. I used to just do like a line, two full.
I
No.
know a
I,
lot of
I,
people used to do the line.
Uh,
I just feel
I
like
do them
mine are
every week.
just so filled in that I can't really do anything.
yeah, yours
Like
are nice
I've
and full.
always wanted to do like an ombre eyebrow or something, but it's like they're filled to the front. There's
I
no way I
have
could do
that.
it. Okay.
It was very spacey like mine, so I needed to get something in there. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, they look fire and
But
both
now
of
they
your
have all these
brows.
trends, and I'm like, oh, I want to do the lamination. I want to do
Oh,
all, but it's
forget
like
it.
it's too
No,
late.
it's getting way too out of hand. But I wanted to say though about the Britney stuff, I find it interesting. It's like they pull out one or two details and it's like headlines, headlines. And first of all, there's so much hate ruminating for Justin now. And how many years ago
Mhm.
was that? And this man is married and he's been through his fair share of shit. Like, I don't know. How do you guys feel about like this being thrust upon him now?
I mean, it's gonna happen. I feel like people are so petty, and but they were young, and it only shows they're human. There's people that have kids so young or go through this, and they're like nobody. So it just shows that she had a normal childhood. Well, not really
Right.
normal, but she went through things that people go through on a daily.
Right. And just because it's publicized, it sounds and looks bigger and crazier. But
And it
it
happens.
is, honestly, that is everyday life for a lot of people.
Hmm.
Though I totally, like I said earlier, I get the side of being young, being a pop star, and being under a microscope. Um, I think the problem is how Justin has since reacted through all of these years to that moment, to that traumatization.
Like it
I think it
references.
references, yes, the song, but you know, the radio station, Howard Stern talking about their sex life. I think that was gross behavior, and that's what sticks out to me a lot. And then also recently, you know, he had to speak up since these book alleges were coming out, and it was still more of a me thing of let's put everything in the past, keep it there, and you know, like, but yeah, but that's for you. That's why this is a memoir, because it's from her, you know, her voice, her memory. So it just seems a little like he's trying to shove it away, but
Hmm.
it is pretty important to her, so that's why it should be brought up.
Yeah, and I think this is a story of her life, right? So while the headlines are going to like circulate around one detail, this is just everything that she's gone through presented in her book. And you said that she addressed it actually, right? All the hate that Justin was getting in a recent post.
Yeah, and I think that she probably felt the pressure to not have someone attacked, which again, I think completely shows Britney's character. It's never been vicious, it's never been aggressive, and I think, or argumentative. So I think that was pretty big of her to make sure she was like doing the best she could of to protect Justin still to this day of, hey, you know, let's take a break on him. This is in the past. You know, I have since resolved these
Hmm.
issues and moved on. Um, but I don't think he really responded in the same way of being as supportive of how she recollects on that moment. It's more
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah, because she was just saying, like, this is just a book of my life. So let's not attack like one person for something that happened so long
Right.
ago. And I think that the media is so fixated on this because it's like this is the shock value that the book has right now.
Hmm.
And
Right.
she's not in the right mind to be doing these tours and press tours and setting the record straight and doing all these things. And you know what? All of that is a result of everything that she's been through. And I think the bigger picture here is like we see a Britney today that is not the face of who we saw all those years and who we grew up idolizing.
Yep.
And a lot of it is the result of this negative media attention, this scrutiny. I see these interviews that are just absolutely, and her family, of course, she had nobody like grounding her. Everyone was capitalizing off of her
Yep.
and from her
Right.
very closest people. And it's like even those interviews that are like, oh, everybody's talking about your breasts. Like, just so I just can't even believe when you think about all the stuff that she was going on, that she was dealing with at home. And then this is what's happening when she's out, like making a name for herself. It's just so tragic. Like, where do you turn?
Yeah,
Right.
super sad.
And I think also that's part of why they've done this, in other ways they've tried to market her tour, right? So she has her Crossroads movie that's re-releasing. Tom, you're going there tonight, right?
Yes, I
Look
am.
at your
I
shirt.
am
Oh,
going.
I love it.
I love
So,
it.
yeah, I mean, I think that since this is just her journey, and I think that for the first time, she has say,
Yep.
not only just in her, you know, written words, but also how this has all been publicized and marketed. If you notice, there haven't been billboards, there haven't obviously been any press junkets or promos. And I think that's exactly. I don't think she cares. I don't think she cares to get millions and millions of people to read this. I think it was more of a cathartic, very therapeutic experience for her. So, already in that theme is what I support.
Hmm.
So, in reading this book, I do feel that I'm going to look more over the details and look more towards the themes
Hmm.
in these chapters to kind of see where she was mentally, how she was acting, because, you know, we see a very different Britney today,
It shaped
like
her.
Alina was speaking about before. If, you know, I'm seeing Crossroads tonight, and that Britney, and it was very good acting for someone that wasn't really like, you know, performing
Such a
in
good
movies and
movie.
TV.
Hmm.
It was really good. She did great, and it's by Chandra Rhimes, you know, huge
Grey's
director, producer, writer,
Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
How to Get
So
Away with Murder. I'm gonna stop.
there you
So
go.
good. So
I'm
good.
sure we could sit here and name like 30 others too.
Yes.
Uh, but you know, something like Crossroads, like to now, she doesn't look like that, and I think that that is what alarms people. But I do feel we have to look past it a little bit and
Hmm.
see it more as a holistic, as a journey for someone.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You want to see them grow, you want to see them heal. And I see this like book and this promo is exactly that. She's finally like doing it her way. There's no music video performance or a GMA Good Morning America, you know, performance, an interview on Today's Show that she doesn't want to do. None of that. No makeup,
Hmm.
no photo shoot, and that makes me happy for her.
Hmm. We talked about this in our last episode, but I would say if you look at all these child stars, like they all grow up so different. You know, Amanda Bynes, like when they're in that limelight from such a young age, they're not going to be the same person today. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to read it too, just to kind of see like what shaped her to the person she is today. So it'll be super,
Right.
super interesting.
Yeah. And I'm totally, oh, sorry, guys. I'm a pop star now. I'm totally, sorry, so rude. I'm totally rooting for her too, because this is, in a sense, her taking her power back, her using her voice in a way that she can now. And she's still on a rough road. Like she's just gotten out of her conservatorship. She's finding whatever independence she can have. She had her wedding, and now that, of course, unfortunately, she's going through a separation with her husband, Sam Asghari. That to me also. Never trusted that man. Never really
Yeah,
No,
did.
I agree.
I didn't either. And there
Yeah.
were a lot of Britney stans that were so happy for her, which I
Hmm.
was, because, you know, if she's happy, I was happy. But something about him this entire time, really, I felt the red flags.
Yeah.
But a lot of people didn't. But I saw it from far. And I told Alina about it. I remember seeing in some of like snippets of her Instagram videos with him, he would like think he's off camera and his face would just drop, you know,
Yeah.
as if it was an act, as if he was almost hired, you know, to like give Britney a
Oh,
real life or whatever. Anyway, he's young, he's an actor, and I totally
He
saw
got
this
his
as a
platform.
yeah.
got his platform. He
She
already
made
had
him.
one, I will say. Like he already like was doing well on social as a fitness influencer. But from Britney, he did get some TV spots, some movie extra
Hmm.
spots. So, I mean, there was amplification in his career there. But thank God, the prenup were good. He's not getting a dime,
That's right.
because that's what was scary. Of course, like if she's finally gaining her money back, this young guy is going to take
Hmm.
half of it. You know, so thank God that that's not part of anything.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Do we think Sam's in the book?
for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Part of her life.
That will be something interesting because I think everyone's just kind of confused and doesn't really know much about this like it always just seemed odd because this man, like, first of all, he's just, I don't know, you just see them together and you just don't even see it. It just
Yeah,
seems
at
odd.
all.
And
Hmm.
like I just feel like it was a use, but I will say, in a way, I do notice. I mean, maybe it's a result of like you spend so much time with somebody, you care about them, period. I do
Yes.
notice he's protective over her. Like, and
Hmm.
he will never slander her. I think he does
Right.
feel for her and wants to empower
Respects
her.
her.
Yes, like
Hmm.
I think he empowered her to use her voice. Like when she spoke out for, that was a huge moment, like in history, literally, when like they
Yeah.
released her in court speaking on what's been
Yep.
happening. And we're like, it's all true. Like everything we've thought.
Which was
I hope
wild
she
in
gets a
itself.
So
huge,
sad.
like,
Yeah.
I hope she bankrupts her whole family.
Literally. They couldn't
I
just
know.
love her. Ugh, So
I
sad.
know. I'm really looking forward to it though. But overall, I'm very happy for her. But it's been a really traumatic journey. A lot of us can either relate or honestly sympathize with her because our age grew
Yeah.
up with her,
Yeah.
and we saw her as one of us. I mean,
Yeah.
those who are especially paying attention closely to Britney, like I was,
Mm-hmm.
everything she did, I was like, oh, because she was so confident. Her videos, her interviews, she was
Iconic.
strong.
Mm-hmm.
She knew what she wanted. She spoke up, but it empowered me. I think that's where I got some of my confidence from, of feeling just strong in my body, and then feeling moments of like sexiness. And
Yeah.
Brittany helped me feel that without it being you know made fun of, or I felt like, okay, someone understands me. I could be a little bit more free and confident in that without worrying about the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody, as a gay man, there's so much judgment and hate and being ostracized, put in corners. And I felt that Britney went through a lot of that,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the world hating her because they didn't understand,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't comfortable with her belly showing or a cleavage on a 19-year-old girl,
Yeah.
so the poor thing just went through it all, I think. So, like girls like Ariana Grande could,
She
do what they're
walked so
doing
they
now.
could run.
Exactly. Yep.
And I think
Yes,
like what you're saying too, especially with how you related to her, it gave you a sense of community with like people that related to you and that you felt like, you all felt this way about her and you felt safe with each other. And
right,
you
Yourself.
could
Mm-hmm.
blast her music together and you found something in common to enjoy. And like it just speaks to her influence overall. I think we're all like
right.
wishing her well. And look,
Yes.
I mean, here we are, Book Please podcast, the power of a book. Like, what a beautiful way for her to be able to share her story
Mm-hmm.
unfiltered, claim her power.
Yep.
And Tom, we are so excited for you to go see this movie because I know they've like kept it in a vault.
Yes.
Nobody has been able to see Crossroads since Crossroads happened
Literally, I mean, I have seen it because
because you're
when you
Tommy.
want something, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But it's really, you can't find it anywhere. But the good thing is they're talking about streaming negotiations.
Oof.
So
Ooh.
that'll be good to put some, I think, money in her pocket to get her on, like, finding
Yeah.
this only on Amazon or,
Mm-hmm.
Apple. So that would be very awesome.
She deserves it. Well, you
We
go
love you,
enjoy.
Brittany.
Yes, we love you,
Thanks.
Brittany. You go enjoy your
Yes.
movie. Thank you for being our guest at sometimes_Brittany on TikTok. Check him out. Thank
And
you.
we'll have you back on after we all read it.
Oh, yes,
Let's
for
do it.
sure. We
Yes.
need to debrief all the details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, wait, about Crossroads or the book?
The book.
Both.
But
Okay,
yes,
because I'll
I
have
might
some
have
thoughts
to
on
drag
Crossroads
Amanda to
too.
Crossroads too.
I would go. 100% I'd
It's
go.
I
Yeah.
think it's only tonight, but we'll talk. Anyways,
Okay.
thank you. We love you. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you for
us.
joining us.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was so amazing. I hope everybody enjoys her book. I know we're going to get our hands on a copy. Maybe we'll do like some episodes on it or we'll recap at some point.
Mhm.
If you guys have any questions for our Brit expert, let us know.
Yes.
I'm excited
And
for this.
guys, if you are not 90s babies like us, I know you guys look at Britney and you're like, what is wrong with her? But you guys should definitely read it. You'll understand what she's been through. You'll understand why she's the way she is. But Britney loved you from the beginning, love you
Yes.
still, and we wish you the best.
Yes, we do. I feel like she does. She gets a lot of hate now because people don't understand like
don't
who she
understand.
was and the icon that she was to all of
Mhm.
us. So let's give her flowers and respect.
Yes.
Speaking of books, we read The Coworker this week by Frida McFadden, chapters 43 to 52. Let's shift gears to this book. We found out a lot, Amanda.
A
What are
lot.
your thoughts? And let me just say, we
Okay.
predicted a lot of this.
Yes, I must say, Frida girl, I'll give it to you. The book got better. At first, I was scared. I was like, I'm sick of these goddamn turtles.
The turtle.
But now that we like know everything, like one, I knew she was talking to herself. I was like, this other girl on the other end of the computer cannot be real. Like, there's no way. But I think you guys might have guessed she like faked her death. She didn't really die, but that was also great to see that part. And then we find out Caleb is actually, her best friend in high school's brother. So that was, the way it all ties in, I thought was amazing.
It did. Okay. So we predicted, obviously, that I kept saying, I was like, this doesn't sit right with me. Dawn is still alive. Like that did not surprise me. Okay. We're good enough now. We're sleuths. We're good readers. But when we learned that Caleb is Amelia's brother, that Amelia is Mia,
Yeah, yep.
that tie-in was incredible. When
Incredible.
Caleb was, I loved how this worked out because it was like a slow, like anticipation of like Caleb's going over to the hotel room. Oh my gosh, he found this out. And then I've started going like, wait a minute, he didn't go to like the lobby and say like, is this person here? Like he knew what room to go to. So I started to get like, how did he figure this out?
Yeah.
And then he gets to the door and she's like, someone's knocking. It's Caleb. And I'm like, here it goes. And then she's like, honey. Like,
What are your thoughts on like the whole situation? Like, I personally think it's a lot. Like, yes, it's super sad. They picked on her in high school. She ended up committing suicide. But kind of young, like, I mean, yes, I don't
yes,
think you should bully anyone, but I think the way she's getting revenge is just like super childish. Like, even Caleb, I feel like thinks she's doing a little too much.
I agree. This is a sadistic move right here. Dawn is
Yes.
absolutely batshit. And I get it. Like, okay, I get it to an extent. And I feel like Natalie, yes, she was a bully and it was wrong. However, this is just to a degree that's so absurd.
Hmm.
And you can feel Caleb's hesitancy. He's kind of uncomfortable at this point. Like, it's gone too far.
Too far.
And I don't think he's in the way that she's in. I think
Hmm.
that she's even so disappointed that the body has now been determined not her. So it's out that that's not her.
What are your thoughts on that too? I think she's involved with that girl being dead.
That is a whole other thing that I'm like,
Yeah.
because there was a part that like was spelt out and it was like, oh, like what are the odds that a girl her
Mhm.
age that's like whatever,
And
and
Caleb kept saying it. Hmm.
to the point where like she's unidentifiable, like they couldn't even like take a sample from her
Hmm.
teeth, they had to like do or whatever they ended up doing
Yeah.
to take a DNA sample because they couldn't identify her. Definitely think she's involved. And I think even like I would go as far as to say Dawn was so disappointed that the body was ID'd that she even, because Caleb was like, can you just stop like circling and ruminating on this information because there never will be a body. There's never gonna
Hmm.
be a body. And she's just I'm like, is she sitting here thinking like, well, I'll kill myself for there
Oh,
to be a body?
100%. Oh, 100%. I think that's what she's going to do. But I also agree with her where she's like, Caleb's only with me because we have this bond of his sister, which I agree. I think he cares about her because she loved, his sister, but
Yeah.
I don't think they have anything else in common. I think she's going way too far. I think she doesn't have anyone else that she will kill herself just to make
Yeah.
sure she goes to jail.
It's like trauma bonding.
It's
And
exactly.
also, this chick is crazy because how are you going to go let your man have this hot bitch at the office? And then she's sitting here all jealous. And I'm
Obsessing
like,
over a
what are
kiss.
you doing? Yeah, but you know what? He had to go along with it and like play house and date her. Like, what are you doing? This
I mean,
girl's hot. Like, what
I
are you
also
doing?
think like like even her mom saying like, "Well, you bullied that girl and she like killed us," and I do agree with Dawn, where I don't think she learned. I don't think she feels bad about it because she still picks on people. So it's like a character thing. Like she is a bitch, but like to frame her for murder and like like if anything, she teaches me I need to learn to defend myself and stick up for myself and not let anyone walk all over me.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. I mean, I thought it was insane that her mom, that Natalie's mom said to her, like, you've done this.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're capable of. That's this, everybody's a little bit unwell.
Yeah, that's like 0 to 100. It's like picking on someone's way different than like killing someone. I
Oh
agree.
my
Yeah.
gosh. I thought that was so absurd. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I really was annoyed with Natalie and I was like, this bitch, this bully, this everything. It's gone way, way, way too far. and she can't win. And now she has this BS lawyer. She's in jail and she
But
has
the
a,
lawyer told her a lot of information she didn't know, like the
yeah,
body, not be, and also that Caleb actually like went to the police himself and put all
gave
his dirt
a
on. Yeah,
statement. I wonder in those cases too, because you think like, I mean, I I would hope that eventually by the time we get to the end of the book, like there's, a loophole of how they figure it out. But in these cases, it's really crazy to think like if you're really framed well, what do you do? Like I started just going thinking about it. Like, what if someone framed me one day for shit? You have to be like,
girl,
what is your
I
defense?
I
Like,
will be
guys
putting
that
my
have
house up.
no idea I'm
I'm getting
framed.
you a great
Somebody help
lawyer.
me. I
Yeah.
swear I would just go talk to the jury and be like, I literally have no explanation for any of these things because I was framed and I would cry. Like, I don't know. How do you get out of that? You can't. And she should just, doesn't she think to say, like, oh my God, I'm being framed. Can somebody help me? I honestly think this comes back to that point where, like, when she found stuff in her like was it in her laundry basket that she
Yeah, the
found stuff?
turtle.
Yes, I would have gone to the police right then and there because
Oh,
there
girl, you
should
haven't taken any criminal justice classes.
no,
You don't
but
want
do
to incriminate yourself more.
yeah,
I would
but
have
I
got
would
rid of it too.
I know, but I feel like I would want to be like, guys, help me. Like this turned up and I'm trying to cooperate and I'm being framed.
Nah, girl, I would help you hide a body, a turtle, a rock, anything because
Okay,
I
so
love
I'll call you and not the police.
exactly. Like I don't, yeah. I feel like you got to fend for yourself. And this is teaching her anything. She should have saved some money, got a good lawyer. Like, especially if you're a mean girl, you're a lawsuit waiting to happen. Like you, how do you not set yourself up for? I don't know. I don't know. But I think you know what I
I mean,
think.
she's never gonna think that this girl set her up for murder.
I think.
Yeah.
I think foreshadowing when the mom was like, "This doesn't surprise me. It seems like something you would do."
Yeah.
I think she thought she was killing Dawn that night and killed that girl because
What?
I think because it's gonna tie in somehow, and I think she is gonna be a killer. I think she killed the girl by accident, thinking it was Dawn, and that's how it ties in. So she actually does deserve to go to jail. I think she's way. I'm telling you,
Amanda.
I think she is. She's not as innocent as she seems to be because she plays this
Ooh.
soft thing, but like I don't know. I think she killed the girl.
Honestly, that's absolutely incredible. My prediction was so much more calm than this.
And how do you not know you went to high school with this girl? How do you not
Thank
know Caleb
you.
is the brother of the girl that you made kill
Thank you.
herself?
And the
That's crazy.
loophole here was that Caleb doesn't have the same last name, but I don't give a shit. Like it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
They must look alike or something.
You
Like, and then
have
she
to
talks
put
about
it
how she
together.
thinks about it, how she thought about it for years, and you don't know what the brother looks like. Give me a break.
It's
Yeah.
really crazy. And I at first I was just like so like this is so bizarre that she does these walks for this person, but then I realized like she has been trying to make amends ever since this happened. So I kind of just felt like bad for her, but I think that you're right. It's
I think
also
I
like
think she's
how
a
do you not
liar.
realize, especially if this is something that you've had a pit about for so long, when
Mm-hmm.
you
You
reflect,
know.
eventually it'll hit you at some point or because
Yeah.
this is such a like a bizarre figure in your life where like Don is clearly like doing things out to get you like things are not like there's things that are off like you don't realize it at any point that's so bizarre.
And the cops, how don't the cops tie that all three of them went to high school together?
Literally do your job.
Exactly. Like, so
Do
that's the thing
your
that
job.
annoys me with Frida. Like, I'm just like, how does it, like, I feel like the cops are not doing that great of a job to know they all know each other. She, like,
Yes.
is so oblivious. She doesn't know she went to school with both of them. Like, it's just,
Yes.
mm.
That's a really great point, Amanda. I see before we
That's why I
talked.
think she knows. I think she killed that
Yeah.
girl because she thought it was Dawn and she knew Dawn was
And
like,
like you said, like your mom knows you. So it's not like she had the relationship with her mom that Dawn has. Like her mom knows her and they talk and all that. And they have their weekly dinners and whatever. For her to say, like, there's no case in any lifetime where my mom will even think for a second that
mm-hmm.
I'm capable of this.
Yep, your parents know you.
So I think that is a bizarre detail at first before we really dissected this. My kind of prediction was I can see, and maybe this is still part of it, but I can see Caleb is getting frustrated. He's getting over it. He doesn't want
Feels
anything
bad.
to do with it
Hmm.
anymore. I think he's going to get to a point where he's going to crack and he's going to have to separate himself from Dawn because it's going way too far. And I also think too, like she's fed into this, like she's like charged him up about the situation. Like he didn't even know the half of it, she said. So she's been sitting here like feeding this to her brother like constantly. And I think eventually he's gonna just like tap out. And when it comes to putting someone away in jail for life, I don't know that Caleb is ready to follow through with that
Hmm.
and really like commit to blaming Natalie for this. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the reason
She
that
gets out. Hmm.
that Natalie gets out. Whether or not he incriminates John, I think he's ready to like just get out of this whole situation.
Yeah, I'd even go as far as to say, like, I don't think she killed herself. Because we talk about how
Ooh,
strong she was, and she's like, I never expected her to do that because she seemed so tough. That's why I picked on her. So I'm wondering if like something else happened in high school, and like Natalie like made her take these, like, did something that like killed her. I don't know. I feel like Natalie's gonna be way worse than we think she
I
is.
have no words right
I
now.
gotta write a book. My book would be so twisted.
I You're gonna read a thriller book and I'll write a love book and then we'll recap all of them on the pod.
I love twists like that. Like it'd be crazy to know, like, because she did seem so tough, the way they defended each other, and over like a boy, like you thought he liked you, and then you found out the girls were making fun of you, like, and you're almost done with high school. It's almost over. So
I
I don't think she, I
know.
don't think she killed herself.
I mean, look, she's already been through it a lot. She has a disability. I think too, when you're in high school, this stuff,
Hmm.
it's like I wish someone would have like, and even if they did, it doesn't matter to tell you like these things feel like your whole world and
Oh,
life right now.
and they're
And
not.
it's not
Oh.
going to matter. The stupid high school boy, the
Hmm.
friend drama that's bullshit. None of it is going to be anything in your life later on. But when you're in it, it feels like your whole, and it
Whole
is
life,
your
yeah.
whole world
Hmm.
collapsing. Like the heartbreak in high school is like no other. The friendships. I used to lose sleep over like having just like some weird whatever with a friend. Like I just
Yep.
it's so did you get invited to this? Did your, is this person like gonna break your heart? Like all that
First
stuff
love, yeah.
was so
Oh.
all consuming.
Hmm. I totally agree with you that, like, I thought high school was super tough for me. Moving from like Brooklyn to Long Island was like culture shock for me.
Mhm.
But I look back and I'm like, the things I cried over, the things I lost. I'm not even friends with any of the people that I
I know.
knew in high school. And college is kind of where you meet everyone, where you find your
Yeah.
person, you find out who you are. First love too. Like I think about how much I cried over that man, and I look back and
Oh,
I'm like,
forget it.
Amanda.
I
So
feel
yeah.
I feel the same
Oh.
way. I
Hmm.
You could put that man in front of me and
Oh yeah.
literally I'm like, I would rather date a girl. Like he does nothing. I literally and not
Name drop him. No,
I'm
I'm kidding.
not no, and I'm kidding. Like I'm not interested in women in the slightest, and that speaks
Yeah.
to my point. Like there's a nothing I want. I don't even think about this person, and like that's fine. Like you're happy you're married. I'm so happy for you. You fucking ruined my like whole high school experience. But you
Yeah.
know what? You need to go through that shit, right? To like know your worth, know your value. Like you all have that time, but it feels like the end of the world when you're going through
Honestly,
this stuff.
I feel for kids today because when we were in high school, like, now people record everything. Everything ends
That's
up on
true.
TikTok. That poor girl in Jersey that, ended up taking her life after that video went viral of her getting jumped. Like, oh, my heart felt for her family. And, I wish I knew her so I could have been like, listen, I know it feels like the world is like ending and this is like your life is over
Yeah.
because of that. But it's kids can be so cruel.
So cruel.
Mm,
It's just that's such a good point. The fact that we didn't have all that stuff now
hmm.
then is just it's so Oh my God, I cannot imagine having had to go through that. And just like, even just the standard set at the time, like we just took a bunch of photos, it didn't matter. And we put up an album of 50 pictures, and like it's
Hmm.
just memories. Like it's not
In our
about
photo
like,
booth.
how do I look? How do I, oh, forget it. I know. I look back on my old laptop, my Mac photo booth. That was where it was at.
Hmm. We should do
Uh,
a whole segment on like, growing up. Like, I feel like I wish I could just tell kids like life gets better. It does.
no, we need
You
to go
know.
enter classrooms.
Oh, I know. I wish I could like being bullies hard. Being a bully, period. Like I don't know why kids can't just be so loving and have to be
Oh,
so cruel and it,
I'm like scared for my kids sometimes. I think about that. And I think about so many things like that you have to worry about so many more factors now, even like the
yeah.
shootings and the this and the that.
Hmm.
I, even as an adult, like I get nervous to like go to a concert sometimes. I'm like, should I sit this out? Like big gathering, big crowds. It's like nothing
Hmm.
is safe anymore. It's so
Hmm.
sad.
I read something once that said like we're at a time now where mental health is like at an all-time high, and it's like all these things, like it's so sad that people can't just have normal childhoods,
Yeah.
be happy, not compare their lives to other people on social media. And it's tough, but
Yeah.
so much to look forward to too.
I know, it's so very true. It always gets better and it's just not worth it. Um, I think that it was interesting too how Natalie, when she, in our, like jumping back a little bit, when
Hmm.
she was at that point where she's in jail and she's reflecting, of course she feels immense guilt and carries it with her about Amelia. She's also saying, like, at this point, if she's put away, she's going to do the same thing.
Mm.
And
Like
she's,
she understands how she feels
yeah,
finally.
she's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like
Hmm.
this point, if this is it, like I'm done too. And I'm like, oh my God. Like
Yeah, I
that's
think
really
Dawn
crazy.
needs to like, and this is another thing, like revenge, like move on with your life. Like, she wouldn't want you obsessing. She wouldn't want her brother to be
I'm
like,
sure she
ah,
doesn't want this.
yes, she
And what
doesn't.
is she doing that's better than what Natalie did? It's worse. This is
It's worse.
bullying to the
Yeah.
extreme. You're intentionally driving somebody now to kill themselves. You're doing quite literally not only the same thing, but way, way worse. At least in Natalie, like Natalie was probably full of herself, popular, whatever, thought she was being funny and cool, and never realized that she had the power to like influence someone to kill themselves. Dawn is making it her mission to do just
Hmm.
that. And even if Natalie is physically still here, to completely take away every aspect of her life. Like, what are you doing?
And
She's
yeah, poor Caleb.
severely
He needs to
unwell.
move on. Oh yeah,
Caleb
she's
needs
like
to go.
obsessed. If she was that obsessed with her, she should have stayed with her. Like I know she went off to college, but like, she's going through that. Come back. Be a good friend. You know?
She even said this, nothing is as important as this to her, not even Caleb, not even herself.
Oh yeah.
So like I think like he does need to go. I think she's the craziest of all. I do think that she's involved with that body. She'll go as far as doing that to just paint the picture to
And
get.
Caleb thinks she did it. He keeps asking her, like, what are the chances of that? Isn't that? And then, in her head, she's like, why does he keep asking me that? You know?
I think he's scared. I think he's going to go. And I think she may then try to like do something to him to stop him. Maybe.
I don't
Who
know.
would
I
have
think
thought this bitch with the same color meals?
uh, obsessed with turtles. And the way she, like the turtle thing, I'm just like, Frida, I need to know if you have an obsession with turtles. Like, I just want to know where this turtle thing
Where
came
did
in.
it come from? Where did the white foods and the all that come
I'm going
from?
to tweet you, Frida, and say, what's up with the turtles?
What's up with the turtles? I
I'm
don't know.
excited for the ending though. I feel like it definitely took a twist. I did not expect that. Like there were some things I was like, but God, Frida, I hope the ending is like sick and twisted so I could give you 10 out
Give
of
it to
10.
Amanda. I know, I agree. And I was at the point where when I had to stop for this episode because I want my predictions to be authentic,
Yes,
I was
it was hard. I wanted to
I was
finish
like,
super
oh
hard. Yeah,
yeah, I had to force myself. So that's a good
same.
sign.
That is a good sign. So far, I definitely recommend. But the ending will be everything. So we'll see if she offs herself, if Caleb turns her in. Like,
Yes. Yes, totally.
Her and
Okay,
Natalie. Imagine Caleb and Natalie end up together and get
that's
married.
what I was thinking. That's why I was like, how could you let your man go off with this hot bitch? Like, you have like the weirdest things going on, like your hair, your everything, your whole, I don't know. I just
Oh,
feel
the
like,
hair thing is weird too. I'm just like, what do you
come
mean you don't like
on.
long
And
hair?
she's like, it's not even you don't like long hair. It's like you have chopped your hair in the weirdest way to like stick it to your head. And it's
So
not like
weird.
style. It's not like, oh, she has a cute little like bob or like a shoulder cut or like a nice blunt short haircut that's in. Like she has it like on her head where she has like little chopped hairs at the back of
So
her
weird.
neck. Like and you're like, "Oh yeah, honey, go date this hot piece of ass in the office?"
Yeah, it's super. She's super twisted. I'm just, ugh, I
I
can't
know.
even imagine.
Well, I guess we'll see next week what's happening. I'm definitely going to
Yes.
read this ASAP, Rocky. So for next week, everyone, please finish the book. We are reading from chapters 53 until the end. Amanda, please plug our socials, girly.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. We appreciate you. You stayed this long, you
Yes.
might as well push the button. And
Yes.
then we're also on TikTok, Threads, and Instagram at Book Please Podcast. And we're also on X/Twitter at Book Please Pod. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.